when they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Good evening. And if you're just tuning in, you're listening to 105.3 and 107.7 out of the beautiful city of New Orleans. Hang on, I'm pinning a post. There we go. To UFO Paranormal Radio Network, otherwise known as United Public Radio Network, or UPRN. And this is the thing at the foot of the bed. I am one of the co-hosts of this show. My amazing friend and co-host is right next to me. I'm going to do the housekeeping stuff, and then I'll pass him over to you, Dave, in a sec. Over to you. In just a few seconds here. Sorry, guys, we're a little, never fails, right? Live shows, technical difficulties, and our background disappeared, our intro video, and it's my devices apparently, because they're there, but they're hidden. So we had to upload them. So thanks for your patience. Anyways, on with the show. My name is Lorilei Potvin. I'm a host here on the network of my own show, The Angel Rock, on Mondays from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we do the thing at the foot of the bed here, David and I. Now, if you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe, and tell all your friends and family. There really is programming for everybody on this network. It's been around for 25 plus years. We stream multiple shows daily. And when we're not streaming live, the archive server is randomly picking shows over the last 25 years to bring you fantastic content. We've got some new hosts, new shows. We always are adding new shows. So if you like it, share it with your friends and family. Also, we do have our own TV channel. We are on Roku under UFO Paranormal Radio and United Public. I think it's UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio. So how you're going to find that, you have to go to the channel store. You are going to type in UFO space P as in paranormal. There's a drop down list. We're about the third or fourth one down, and it's under, like I just said, UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio. And that's us. There's many of the shows that are streaming on Roku. So check it out. You get to watch it right from the comfort in your own home or on your device on TV. And we are going to say hi to everybody that's here in just a minute. But if you guys want to join in the conversation, 80% of our audience is audio only. Excuse me. So, and we broadcast this network. We're very lucky to be here. Joe Montaldo, I'm going to give a shout out to. He's the one that broadcasts this all from the comfort of his beautiful home and sends it out to every country in the world. He's also got quite a few great shows of his own, UFO Undercover. He's got The Centralist. He's got News on the Flip Side. And yeah, he's an awesome guy. So thank you, Joe, for providing this space for all of us to come into your living rooms and your devices. I think you know what I did forget, Dave, and you always remind me to tell people who I am, like what I do. So I'm a Canadian spiritual medium. I'm also a crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher, and mentor. I'm a budding animal communicator. I also am extremely well versed in the near-death experiences, having studied them professionally and personally for 40 years. Also had one as a toddler, and David is too, because he's had an NDE, and extremely well versed in the paranormal, especially with the really spooky stuff, having lived through it myself. Okay, I think I remembered everything. Dave, go ahead. You've been waiting patiently. Tell them all about you.
I think you got it. Hi, everybody who's on right now. We'll say hi to you in just a moment. My name is David Hanzel. I am a spiritual medium and a channel, and I do a lot of the things that Lorilei said. You can just pick and choose and figure out which ones those are. We are also, if you are watching us on Roku, watch us on a really big screen so you can see all of our
all my wrinkles.
and you might see something spooky in the background. I don't know. I'm not promising you, but you just might on a big screen. Mm-hmm. Also, if you are watching from any of the Facebook groups, which is the Spirit Experience, or my YouTube channel, the Spirit Experience.
I forgot to tell them where to go, so you can tell them.
Yeah, you can also watch us on the Angel Rock on Facebook, and what's the other one?
The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin on YouTube. We are streaming to you on UFO Paranormal Radio in United Public, on Facebook and YouTube. We are also on Canada's Most Haunted. And I always forget this, so I was a little discombobulated uploading. And
that's okay. You were so close, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
I do just want to tell them about Instagram. So I am streaming on the Angel Rock on Instagram. They don't show the comments where everybody else's are. So if you're over there, we're not purposely ignoring you. Both my show and this show are very audience participative. So we encourage you to join us on one of the YouTube channels we've mentioned and come join in the fun. I will check periodically, but I'm not ignoring you on purpose. Sorry, Dave. Go
also
ahead.
To the billions of people who are listening to us, if you watch us in our Facebook group that we have now, which is called The Thing at the Foot of the Bed, you can Lorilei usually goes in and she'll put in any videos that we showed here, and you can just chat to other people, like-minded people like yourselves. And also, once we get 200 people in there, Lorilei and I decided that we are going to do some lives in there, do some live card readings and so on and so forth. So those are totally free for our group. So make sure that you go ahead and join our group. If you're watching from Facebook, also right above where you're watching, you'll see a blue link. If you press on that and give StreamYard permission, we will be able to see your name and your face. Outside of that, your picture. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You can remain anonymous. It is totally up to you. With all that being said, Lorilei and I had wacky days today. It is coming up on the full moon on Saturday, which we'll probably talk about. I don't know if that's why we had wacky days, but
it's almost full here. Like, that's why I was thinking about it. I was looking, I could see it. The sky was completely blue, and I know there's probably a smidge or a sliver left, but it looks almost
full. I know me and India are doing full moon readings Saturday night. We do that like every couple months. We do like dual readings, and we're doing those on the full moon for that night. It's fun. If anybody wants to talk about the full moon, has anything to say about it, please let us know. To talk about the full moon for a second, and I don't know, Lorilei, I think you are.
I have a ton of stuff I found.
Yeah, and you found, and when for a full moon, I was saying to people before, I feel a full moon. So I don't feel wacky and I don't let it mess up my day, but I literally am one of those people that feels the lift.
I think most people do, Dave, and you know who made me realize this, never mind having a medical background. We're going to say hi all to you. I've highlighted whoever Facebook user is, because we don't know who you are. You might have just joined in. So I believe there's a blue button if you're in a group that you can click. It'll let us see your name, or you can type it after your name just so we know who you are. You can stay anonymous. Also, I do want to say hi to people on Instagram. We've got a few over there. We've got Tammy Riveras James and Michael L. Steenburgen. Sorry, the comments don't always come through where we see the main majority of them. So we're not ignoring you on purpose, but if you want to join the conversation, just head over to YouTube. You can go to UFO Paranormal Radio,
hi Instagram
Experience, or you can go to the Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. So let's go a little higher up here and start saying hello, Dave. So we have Cindy Simpson here. We have Kathy Hanley Little. Hi, Lorilei and David. Diane Brighton. Hi, everyone. Nicole Thomas Ryan. Hi, all. Kason Lee. He says, hey, guys. He's all the way over in Sri Lanka, which is pretty cool. Hi, Diane Brighton. We've got a Facebook user, and we've got Heather Donladovich. She says, top of the evening to you both. And Jackie Lane, hello. So welcome. We're glad you're here.
Hi, you guys.
So that's what I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, anybody, if there's something you want to talk about or want Lorilei to talk about, we love talking with you guys. We interact with whatever comments you put there. So feel free to type a question or ask anything too. And right now we're talking about the full moon.
Okay, so that's what I started to say. And I thought, I better highlight that comment. So it was Del that made me realize this, my partner. Because I know you say you're very sensitive to the full moon. I am too, but I think we all are as human beings.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even recognize it because depending on where you look and what you read, where I say 80% water, I've seen as low as 70% water. But, people, if you're near the ocean or any body of water, the tide comes in and it pulls out. That's affected by the moon. So when we've got that much water in our bodies, it definitely affects us. But what I was going to add, when I was in university for nursing, I worked in a nursing home as a nursing student. And, you know, I never checked the weather back then. We didn't have cell phones back then either. But the reason I say that is we always knew, even in the hospital, like babies, sick babies, anything, like all heck would break loose a few days before the full moon, definitely over the full moon and after, and especially those patients with dementia, we would definitely see it. So I think it affects everybody.
I think it does too. And people just, I physically feel mentally, I don't know. I don't know if I'm different or not. I haven't had anybody ever say, David, you're different in a full moon. But I do feel physically different all the time. But I'm not one of those people who feel it badly, but I understand exactly what you mean, because even at all the places I used to work and working with people all my life, people would say stuff like, it must be a full moon. Look at how these people are acting today. So it does. I agree with you. I think it affects more people than they even know.
I think a lot of people emotionally and mentally, even when it comes to sleep. I'm going to read some of the comments people are sharing. Hi, Tiana Lee Moss. Oh my gosh, we haven't seen you in forever. You know, Dave and I both from the Voldemort group, as we call it, as shall remain unnamed. We got Kathy Hanley Little saying, I feel energetic with the full moon. Ooh. And Nicole Thomas Ryan says, a pre-K teacher, I know what she was adding. She's got another comment. The little ones are running away when it's full moon. So you get a lot of activity with the little ones. And I thought I missed a comment here. Maybe I didn't. But yeah, a lot of people notice with the full moon a difference. Like I think for me, I don't sleep well anyways, but I usually have a lot more energy. I can't sleep. I'm moving around, running around, and I feel just generally more sensitive to everything around me. Even it's almost like my abilities become even more fine-tuned. Do you find that too, Dave?
I do. In fact, I got to tell you, today, I won't, because I don't want to call anybody out. Somebody I've done a reading for a long time ago, I had given them a code because we did a separate reading. You know, it was on me. I gave him a code for that. But anyway, he had emailed me and said he wanted one of his family members to get a reading. Well, anyway, I went to go do my reading today. I was so stressed out all day. But I went to do my reading. I was wondering, where did this person get this code? Did I mess up or what? Anyway, they ended up getting a free reading. I didn't care, because her father, and what you said about the full moon, this was one of those readings because it's getting closer to Saturday, and this is how it works for me. Literally, like, we talked for 30 seconds and boom, there he was. Boom, 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 one after the other, just talking away. So yeah, my connections are, I agree. I made a long story even longer, but I agree that I also, my abilities are different around the full moon.
Me too. Yeah. And I'm going to add this. Okay. So Kathy Hanna Little said, my children work in an emergency service and they would dread a full moon. I agree. I did too when I was, like especially in the NICU and stuff, like critical care. Now, this is an interesting comment. Diane Brighton says the police won't go to work on a full moon as there is highly likely to be harmed, more emotional outbursts. Well, I don't know if they have a choice about going to work. I think they have to go to work, just kind of like nurses and firefighters.
But I get what she's saying, though, because
if they could go call in sick or use holiday days. Yes.
I understand what she says, though, because on a full moon, a lot of the people who are out there are twice as wacky sometimes. And I think true, too. I mean, how many people, I've never heard anybody say, 35 people were injured this full moon and arrested, but I'm sure it happens. I'm so sure it happens.
We have to be careful what we say. So yeah. DV out there amongst couples. Tiana Lee Moss says their abilities are at their highest during the full moon for sure. But I was going to say too, yes, especially those with mental illness, we see a real increase. This is interesting. I hadn't heard that before. Jackie Lane says, I used to have a principal that would send out a warning to the teachers that kids would be more active. That's interesting.
That's interesting. Hey, I noticed that we can see everybody a lot bigger now. Did you notice that? Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Like I said, our video is still there. No, I was gonna. Oh, on the screen, you mean on the screen?
Yeah, on the screen. Oh, yeah.
Um,
When you put people's face up, it's like, because I remember just when you put
let's see if this makes it.
Jackie's on there, I'm like, oh,
Oh
there's
God,
Jackie.
that's scary.
Ah! You guys, we didn't mean. What's at the foot of your bed? Dave and Lorilai's big old face.
Ooh. So Roger says when the full moon was out, I hated playing music that day. He said the crazies come out. I have to agree. Like I don't even think people, but you got to think about this too, Dave. Like we've got people like Tiana Lee Moss is a psychic medium, intuitive like we are. And you know what? We're more in tune, I think, to energy and feeling changes in our body because of the type of work that we do. I think a lot of people are affected by it, but they don't realize. Like
I think you just hit the nail on the head, Lorilei. That's absolutely true, because our bodies, I feel my body more at the full moon, and in mediumship readings or stuff like that. I mean, I use all my clairs. Those are just the clear senses we use. And my clear feeling is really on point during a full moon.
But we're
I mean,
always tuned in to our emotional state and our physical states of our body as well, spiritual. Like, for example, before the show tonight, this happened yesterday too. I was like really so irritable. Oh my gosh, like just the sound of somebody's voice. And I'm not like that. So before I came on the show, I literally said in my head, is this mine? No. And I just said, return to sender. And it's not that somebody's sending it to me. We're closer to the moon, full moon, right? Maybe that's it. But I'm picking it up from wherever it may be around here. And I can really feel it. But I know that's not me. I'm not like there's no reason for me to feel irritable and cranky, like almost witchy. And I don't take it out on other people, but I feel it internally. And it's so uncomfortable when you know that a feeling isn't yours that you would normally feel.
There's three places that really catch me for a full moon. If I see a full moon by the ocean or by water, it's different to me. When I see a full moon over like a mountainscape is one that is different than me. Sometimes just that real, when it's really, really dark, you know, when there's no stars in the sky and there's no nothing. And the winter moon, always, the full moon in winter always gets me. Always. I won't notice it in summer, but I will in the winter.
Well, I notice it in the summer too, because when we're out at camp, right, there's no natural light out there. And so if it's a clear night and you get a full moon, it's like somebody's got a giant spotlight over top of the lake. You can feel it, right? Like Nicole Thomas Ryan says, I can't sleep during a full moon. I know Kathy Hanley Little said she's got a lot more energy. I have a hard time sleeping too, Nicole. I'm going to just read Tiana's question because I think it's a good question. Were you going to say something, Dave? Sorry.
When you go down, I was going to respond to Roger's question.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought Tiana asked a good question. She said, do you think the body and mind are more connected or disconnected during the full moon? I think connected myself.
I believe connected too, with the caveat that depending on, and this is probably going to go into Roger's question as well. Roger had said, we who are psychic mediums, don't we have a guard to protect us? With what both of you say, I agree with Lorilei. I think that we are more connected. I do believe, though, that even with mediums, most of us know if we forgot to say a protection prayer, it's probably not going to really affect us because it's kind of implied as we do our work all the time. So I guess there probably is a protection for us. It doesn't affect my readings. Yeah, it doesn't affect my readings at all in a negative way. In fact, it affects them more in a positive way for me.
Me too.
I do have to say, but I do have to say that I've never done like an investigation in a house or anything during a full moon that I can remember. So I would like to do that to see if my experience will be different.
The activity is usually, from what I have seen, much more active. But I want to say also a proviso to Tiana and Roger. So with Tiana, when you say are they more connected or disconnected, I kind of want to change my answer because I don't think I would say, connected, because when we think about it, right, we are mind, body, and spirit. There is not really a separation. But I think what it is, if you will, because I was thinking connection, it's almost like we're more in tune to that connection, if you will, as well as the spirit world. But you said we who are psychic mediums, do we have a guard to protect us? I don't think there's anything to protect us from. The other thing is, it just, I'm going to give you what Spirit gave me years ago. What we perceive becomes what we believe, and it becomes our reality. So, the word just went out of my head. It's a gatekeeper. You can set up a spirit on the other side if you want. I've never done it, but I have to agree with you, Dave.
I don't. And to get that, like me personally, I don't use a gatekeeper.
I don't either. But what I was going to say, I wanted to add to go along with what you said. That it's implied. Like there's people walking around all around the world here that have no idea that they have spirit guides, they've got angels, they've got this whole team with them. So they'll never interfere with your free will unless, God forbid, you got in an accident and it wasn't your time to leave or something. I've heard of that.
Exactly.
But there's nothing to be afraid of with a full moon. At least I don't feel so. Mind you, I'm going to talk about spooky stuff, but it's
it does. And I mean, not to make this non-spooky, I have to agree with Lorilei as far as like, for me, there's really nothing to protect me from, and my protection is implied. I will say, I'm not a big, strong believer in protection spells unless you need them or require them, or that's what your mind or whatever your experience might require that, and who am I to say that you're wrong? So I think that if you think your experience requires some sort of protection spell, then by all means do it.
I do though, these are two of my biggest videos I share with people, and I don't have a big YouTube channel, so it's not like I'm trying to promote it. And one of them, I call it a love shield, like for people that feel they may need protection, but it's a positive thing that there's nothing to be afraid of to set it up. But you can be around people that are energy vampires that either sometimes knowingly take it or they don't. I mean, especially I find if people are really empathic and very sensitive, like to crowds and stuff, even if you believe it works, it will work. Or if you feel more confident, more protected with it. But there are people that can do that. So it's protecting your energy. You have an energy field, but I don't.
I do something really wacky, and it with two words I can say, and it takes away a lot of crap. So let's say I go into a store that's particularly crowded, and it's probably like everybody's really crabby in there. You know how when you walk in, you're like, oh. The first thing I do if I'm in a decent mood, whatever, and I walk into a place like that, the two words I say is when I walk in there, I'm like, not mine. That's it. It's not mine.
I did that earlier. I told you that like the last 2 days, and it's this nagging feeling, and it's not anxiety. It was absolute witchiness with a B, I'll call it, like just absolute to the 100th degree. And I had no reason to feel that way normally. And I'm not like that. Like I'm not. And it was so uncomfortable, and it was nagging at me. So that's what I did. I just asked myself, because I trusted, I said, is this mine? I knew it wasn't.
That's exactly.
Oh, go ahead. Okay.
Go ahead. No, you're right.
I was going to say that's where, okay, if this keeps happening, maybe I'm just extra sensitive right now with the moon coming. I actually thought it was a full moon tonight. Dave told me before we started because I could see it in the sky. So I would use my love shield and surround myself in love, as well as that's where grounding really comes in. I think it's important. And again, we don't know everything. I always tell you guys, I don't know everything myself, but I believe the ideal situation for a human being would be to be perfectly grounded to the earth, as well as connected through your top energy center, your crown chakra. There's many above, and connected to whatever your belief system is, the universe. You can call it the sky, you can call it God, you can call it Allah, you can call it whatever you want. But that would be ideal, right? Because we're in a duality here. So I believe we need to be grounded as well as connected above. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh boy, we're going to get rid of that right now. My goodness. Goodbye, Albert. That is not welcome here. You guys want to see that one.
I was gonna say, Albert, you first.
The problem is sometimes when you go to block it, like that's why it was taking a little longer. It'll show it, and believe me, guys, we did not want to show that comment.
Roger. Oh, Roger, I know what you meant, a shield. Yeah, I call them that too, a shield or protection. I think it's, yeah, I use those for me, Roger. I use those I guess I use them interchangeably.
Or sometimes we're around toxic people and you don't have a choice. And if you're really sensitive, you're at work and you know everybody around you is super miserable. And you guys, we know it, whether you know this stuff or not. You know, when you just feel literally exhausted by somebody being around them and there's no real good maybe they're really negative, or you don't even really know why. It just, you start to notice every time you're around this person, you feel drained. Now, it doesn't mean they're doing it purposefully, but there are people that, I mean, we're all energy, and energy can be transferred from one place to another. So people can do it knowingly as well as unknowingly sometimes too. Let's see. Linda Nelson said, I miss some of those when I listen on Facebook. Or Linda, are you talking about what we just said?
Yeah, the comments. Yeah, the comments. You know what? And I don't feel, and I'm not angry about it because, I mean, it kind of made my night. I was like, okay, well, thank you for noticing. You know,
I know, but we could, but I know it is funny. Dave and I usually laugh about some of the creepy, weird messages we get. My latest is
Rogers.
Oh, I'm going to read that. Just a second. I was going to say my latest is these older gentlemen messaging me. They want to be my sugar daddy.
Oh, sure. Give them, you know what? I just bought a house. Give them my number. You
want to read?
I'll just put up my shield and protection and get my free money. You
yeah. You want to read Roger's comment?
Roger has put. Roger says, "Have either of you heard of a grounding sheet? Yes. You plug the cord in the ground and then in the socket." That sounds.
I've heard of it before. Mm-hmm.
A grounding sheet. You mean you plug your sheet into the? That sounds electrical.
There's all kinds of things like that, and I'm not saying this to sound judgmental or in any way, because it is interesting, but I think it's gimmicky technology. Don't get me wrong. I've seen in paranormal investigations where they'll bring in the energy ball, like from Tesla, the Tesla coil, to give spirits extra energy. But we are perfectly capable of grounding. I don't know if you guys seen this documentary that came out a few years back, and it was like this miraculous discovery of earthing. Earthing has been around for thousands and thousands of years. Yeah. One of the healthiest things you can do, especially if you're ill, if you're able to, take your shoes and socks off and stick them in the ground, like earth.
You know what?
That's all you need.
Truth be told, I ground every day. I mean, I do. That's part of my practices and some of the stuff I do. I'm always, and I agree with Lorilei. That is probably, that's what once it's like warm enough not to wear shoes, I won't wear shoes. You have to like push me down and strap me to a table in order to put my shoes on because I want to kick them off. I hate shoes in the summer.
You know what else with shoes too? And I was watching a documentary on this, and it's true. Most shoes are made out of synthetic materials. Now, I'm not talking about using animals for shoes, but back in before where we are now, hundreds of years before, shoes were made out of natural materials like wood and things that came from the earth. So what they're finding is the plastics and things that are being used in shoes are really interfering with people's energy forces and grounding, because before people probably either would wear natural shoes or go barefoot.
My shoes that I buy, I always buy because I don't like soles on my shoes, which is so funny. I like flat shoes, and I get ones that are made out of linens or canvas. Those are the ones that I always feel best for me. I always feel super uncomfortable if I wear like the shiny shoes. You know what I mean? I just can't at all.
Okay, so Roger said that these grounding sheets, it's one prong that goes into the ground, but to me, you could do that with your feet. Now, if you have the money and you want to try it out, by all means, because like Joe says, he uses grounding sheets.
Now, explain to me, what is a grounding sheet? I've never heard of such a thing.
I've seen them with crystals. I have seen them with copper. I have seen them with it's a sheet that you can stand on that is supposed to be able to help you better ground.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what?
You've seen them, Dave.
I think I know what you're talking about now. You know what? I have a foot massager thing too. I have one of those foot things. You put your feet on the pad and it sends electricity through your body. Did you ever see those?
Yeah, I have. Yep.
Is that like a grounding sheet? Is it like standing on electricity?
It depends what you're talking about, because I've seen those type of things, and it's used a lot in Chinese medicine. And now they've got the pads that are all over TikTok that you slap on the bottom of your feet, and all this stuff's supposed to come out. Well, I have a friend that actually has a very expensive device that you can stick your feet into water, and it will help pull toxins. There's that, or that would help. That would help with. Almost sounds more like it's almost like a TENS machine. So it could help with circulation with what you're talking about. It could help with pain, especially nerve type pain. It almost sounds like to me, almost like a TENS machine. No, grounding sheet, it's supposed to help there. Okay. So, well, now Foxy Joe is saying earthing. Like I said, this is this big documentary that came out, like earthing was the brand new miraculous healing thing. It's been around for thousands of years. It's supposed to help you. Like he said, it uses your home's ground wires. To me, I think we are perfectly capable as human beings to be able to ground ourselves. But maybe if you weren't able to get your ground for some reason.
Yep. I guess if somebody needs it, I need it. Hey, I'm all for people feeling better. Whatever makes them feel better, that's fine.
Yeah, like you said, it's a sheet of metal or plastic. Sorry, I'm just going to add this in. Foxy Joe said, I'm a believer. Hey, if it works for you, awesome.
Yeah, I know. If it works for you, I would totally do it. I mean, I really do. You know what's really funny? I'm like, well, I am very, 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 very afraid of electricity. Isn't that funny? It's like if I am, I always have been, and it got even worse years ago, but stuff like, if a light blinks, or if a light like a light blows out from, it's just an old light bulb, I have to have somebody come change it. I can't, I've got such a fear of it. And I don't know where it stems back from. When I was younger, I was a painter, and I did touch a stove and an ungrounded refrigerator at the same time, and I completed the ground. And that was painful. But I had the fear before that. But I think
that's got a vision of you maybe having been struck by lightning in one of your past lives.
Who knows? Yeah, that could be. I mean, you never know. But yeah, I've always been afraid of electricity, but I love lightning. I love lightning storms.
Go figure.
I do. I love watching the lightning. Am I going to go outside in the lightning? Oh, hell no. But I like the lightning when it flashes in the storms.
I don't, and Roger says either way, I don't give a sheet. And Mary Erickson, I think it was Mary Erickson. Hang on, I got to go up. She said, I love going barefoot. I've done so most of my life. Nothing feels better than walking barefoot in the grass. Yes, because earthing or grounding, never mind being connected, it has so many health benefits and healing benefits to be spending as much time as you can with your feet.
Wasn't there a study, and if anybody knows this study, let me know, because I'm probably going to screw it up right now, but I thought it was interesting enough to bring it up, or it wouldn't have popped into my mind. There was something about that us being healthier before shoes, because the toxins, the earth literally sucks out the toxins, and we're wearing shoes now. So everything is just staying in your body maybe at this point. I don't know, but I think they did a study finding out about why people are getting sicker or something. And it had to do with shoes. And also has to do with when we were barefoot all the time, we build up a tolerance, because I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I'm an old man at this point, not that old, but I'm old enough, Gen Z or Gen X. I mean, and I grew up drinking out of hoses, and didn't matter if my hands were dirty. I've eaten dirt. I've eaten stuff that fell on the ground. I've done all those things, yet I'm still here. So
I get that. Sorry, I was going to add Heather's comment because you guys are really liking this conversation, which we like when they like it because it got lots of good comments. Because Heather says Stonehenge and other similar stone structures utilize moon energy. There's all kinds of things with moon energy and sun energy and things like that. The one thing I did, but thank you for bringing that up because I'd forgotten about that, Heather. But I did want to mention this. How does Nicole wants to know, how does a grounding sheet help while sleeping? Well, think about it. You've just, even from some of the things people have shared in the comments here, I know you can't all see the comments at the same time. That's why we try and read them to you. But it basically will balance you, if you will, electrically. We are electrically charged with all the electrolytes and minerals and everything in our body. It pulls out toxins. It can help with relaxation. I'm sure Foxy Joe can add a million other reasons, but it can definitely really help. I could see that.
Foxy Joe, if you're still on, do you use grounding sheet for sleeping, or do you just use it like in meditations? I'm curious because I'm really curious about grounding sheets.
I think sleeping is, so I think we might have missed something here because he said it's a sheet, and then he said the silver thread sheets are soft and comfortable but delicate. And I've heard of that. Like, I used to sleep on a mattress before with magnet therapy. And I don't care what anybody says. In our group that we used to be in, the Voldemort group, there was one mentor we had who was talking about that you should never be using magnets constantly. And they had a point because it does interfere with your own natural electrical field. But I can tell you, as a chronic pain sufferer, if I put a magnet on something with pain, I am telling you for myself, it's like utter relief. Like you don't, it's not like you've had a pain shot or anything, just the pain goes. It really helps in muscle pain and stuff. So I don't know. I guess it's whatever works for you. You know what the beautiful thing about this discussion is, Dave? That we're talking about alternative healing and things out there that can help people feel better and help with some of their health.
Grounding and breathing. If anybody has problems with anxiety, I'm talking like a little anxiety, not like major problems. I mean, you got to work on stuff like that. But people who have just a little bit of anxiety, sometimes the grounding and just breathing will take you back. I think like when you have anxiety, you forget to breathe. And that's like the most beautiful natural thing you can do to bring you back to earth.
So Linda Nelson says, I think vaguely I remember that study, and I've seen that was in that documentary, is one of the ones I had mentioned earlier, that all this germ killing stuff removes our natural resistance to some of the bacteria and germs. Absolutely. I can guarantee you, if you hadn't been touching anything extremely dirty or what have you, whatever, and someone swabbed your hands, you would be shocked the amount of bacteria and things that live on your skin. But they help maintain and keep you healthy. So Nicole, this is interesting because it's supposed to be quite rare what you've mentioned. I'm going to read this in a second, but I know my partner Dell's aunt cannot touch anything with a like timepiece or anything like that, like what you're mentioning. I know I have met so many people like this over the last few years. So she says, okay, so I am a person that affects TVs, computers, etc. I wonder if a grounding sheet would help. I'm just going to give you what I'm getting from spirit. And I really believe, Nicole, you've got so much natural ability in the way of being able to utilize and project your energy that your body kind of just interacts with timepieces. The other thing is that I keep feeling like it's, and I know you're doing this, but really working on controlling your energy. Like, it would be interesting to hear if you're open to it. You're such a sweet woman, but we all get angry sometimes. What happens around you when you get angry? I'm wondering if you're able, not purposefully to move things, but if some things might move around you. I wouldn't be surprised, because I've seen people like this with a lot of natural ability with energy. Have you, Dave? And extreme emotion can cause.
And then there's different degrees, because even like if you're a physical medium, or even like mediums like us, like when I do, sometimes I'll do readings like with this little light is on. When I got a lot of spirits around, I've had that light, I just charged it and had it shut off in like a minute. And
Oh,
it's
they
like,
might be using the energy
yeah,
from
they're
your
using
light.
energy from that. So they do that a lot. But that's because people always ask me, do spirits use your energy when I do stuff? And I'm like, I'm sure they do. Although the funny thing is, and I don't know how to feel about this, I'm one of those people who, when I'm done with the reading, I feel really energized. So I feel like I got a shot of a lot of energy. I don't feel depleted. Oh, but yeah, some people feel depleted afterwards. I mean, I don't know why, but
I do.
do you know why? Because I thought it's just kind of chalked up to just how our physiology works, because we're not all the same.
So Dr. Chuck Kennedy, he's not doing so much anymore, and it's too bad because he had a remote viewing program. I'd taken his course and a whole bunch of stuff, but he has he's actually a nurse with his master's, but I believe he has a doctorate in neurology, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, he has mapped the human brain with those. There's somebody in particular, some of you will know. Hi, Howie. I saw you up there and I didn't get a chance to say hi. I just remember that. Hi and welcome.
Hi,
So
Howie.
Katrina Cooper, who is a medium, she just celebrated her 10th anniversary being out there helping people with her hashtag Forever Friends. So there is a video on YouTube where he did this, and he used an EEG machine, and he was on the Angel Rock when the first year I was on. There's not a video copy of it anymore because we lost our original channel, but there is audio. And he was jokingly saying to me in the interview, it's because I didn't have $1 million as the host to give him to buy an MRI machine. So instead, he used an EEG machine. He mapped the human brain. There's a reason why I'm sharing all this, by the way. And he found that he believes psychic ability is located in human beings behind the left ear, and he's named it the region of Psi. So with that being said, he's also done a lot of research, including studying why the majority of us that do this have a lot of autoimmune issues and chronic pain and things like this, okay? But he also wanted to know, why do a lot of people that do this usually feel drained? And he said he was measuring blood sugar during people doing readings, and the majority of people that do readings, their blood sugar drops so much within the first 30 minutes
that is true.
So he would recommend that you keep chocolate on hand or something with a quick sugar source. So I think if you can protect your energy, not from a place of fear, but once you learn how to manage your energy, okay, and I think we can do this as we do it longer and we're able to. I think that's maybe why you don't feel depleted, and I did in the beginning when I used to do this. I don't know. You were going to say, does it make sense?
Yeah, I was going to say, hold on just a second. There we go. My phone's being funny. There you go. I'm energized afterwards. I mean, I feel better. I feel good. I don't get tired. Although what you did say, the one thing, 4 years I've been doing this. When I used to run a mediumship circle too, before everybody got there, I always put out chocolates because I have to eat something sweet after my readings.
Just your blood sugar drops.
Yeah, that's my blood sugar. Because I do, but I feel energy. I feel good. I mean, I feel good. Like, woo, that was good. I love talking to those guys. I need some chocolate, and that's pretty much how that goes for me.
That's because physically, and it's within the first 30 minutes, he found, like, and again, he's American and I'm Canadian. The reason I say that our blood sugar values are different, but I believe that, say somebody's blood sugar was around 6, that's with our numbers, the normal's 3 to 7. He was finding people were dropping down into the 4s, the 3.5s, like getting pretty low down there in the first 30 minutes. Hi, Julie Jean Bassett. So that's the problem, right? That's why people may feel very much like their blood sugar drops, because it does. And we may not realize it to the point that you're not what we would call hypoglycemic, where you're shaky and nauseous and sweaty, but you feel tired. Like the mid-afternoon, I don't know, in the beginning, I almost felt like, around 3 to 4 in the afternoon, a lot of people, their energy dips. That's how I would feel in the beginning.
Yeah. I guess it depends on the person though. But I do agree.
I don't feel like that anymore, but I think it's important because Nicole said this about when I asked her, like, it'd be interesting to know what happens when you experience extreme emotion with how she can affect electrical devices. And she said, I don't do it as much anymore. I think I'm more aware of my energy now. I would agree 100%.
Yeah, you have to be. Hi, Sherry Burris.
Hi, Sherry. Linda says she finds this fascinating.
Oh, you do. I find it fascinating too, Linda, because really it's, I mean, nobody's really cracked the code completely on everything. And sometimes I think, I don't know if we should.
You know what? Okay, so Dr. Chuck had said that with Katrina, and I was going to leave myself a note. I'll try and grab something to write it down. I'll leave myself a note to post the video.
Did those tests they did those tests with the brain scans. It was about 10 years ago on what was her name? The Long Island medium.
Well,
Katrina Cooper.
This is what I'm talking about with Dr. Chuck with the region of Psi. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he had known spirits in his office where he tested. So, and plus we know Katrina is those of us that know her, she's a very gifted medium as well. So, he could tell when she was using that area, it would light up when she was connecting to spirit. And then somebody on my show had asked in the comments, how do you know if whether it's psychic ability or imagination? And he went into a story about he had one person who actually was a psychic, but wasn't really confident in their abilities. So while he was scanning her, he would tell her, you're not using psychic ability, you're using your imagination, because the different part of the brain would light up where imagination is usually located. So he could tell the difference.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least they've discovered that our brains do change during readings. I don't know what it is, but
well, like I said, that's where he believes it's located for all human beings, would be on the left side of the brain behind. He has a picture of it, I think, on his website or somewhere. It's right in behind about here for people listening, right about where, if you're ever older, probably I am, where you used to wear Bluetooth devices or whatever when you were riding in the car. It's behind your left ear, right in here. And these weren't the only women, people, I want to say women, people that he mapped. He's mapped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And every time they'd be connecting, and he knew quite a bit about the spirits that were in this building of his. He was able to prove who they were by their names. He's not psychic or a medium, but he had enough well-known, like say you went in there, David, if you're going to connect to a spirit, you would tell him the name, you tell him all this stuff. Yeah. He would have mapped your brain and been able to prove, yes, he's definitely, like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just a willy-nilly experiment.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. They've been doing those, and I hope they keep doing them, because it'll let people know that, hey, whether you believe it or not, we're not full of bull crap. I mean, we give validation. So
you guys in the group, what we'll do, and actually we're on the hour, so I'm going to remember to tell you guys, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to 105.3 and 107.7 to UFO Paranormal Radio and United Public Radio Network. And this is the thing at the foot of the bed. I'm joined here by my co-host David Hanzel, and I am Lorilei Potvin. Right now we're talking about full moons and psychic ability and brain waves and energy. Cindy says, always great information. I definitely appreciate it. So Dave, you want to tell them about our group, if that's okay, please? And I'll mark down to post that on our group.
Yeah, you guys, anybody who's listening right now, remember the Thing at the Foot of the Bed now has a Facebook group called The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel Medium. But please go ahead and join that group. And when we get about 200 people in there, Lorilei and I will start doing some live card readings and stuff for fun for you guys, all free. Nicole Ray had said, great. Wait, where did you say? Well, thank you for a great show. I see that. But Nicole Ray said, I tend to hear spirits on my right side. I also hear.
Well, this isn't where you hear them, though, honey. This is
no, she's saying it's where it's activated. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just where it is.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, I was just agreeing for you. I'm the same way. A lot of times I hear spirits on my right. When I have a spirit that comes in my left, for some reason, I can, if they're standing right next to me, I can feel it. And I don't know why the presence is so strong on my left. On my right side, it feels like it's all distance. But if they come up on my left, it's like they're right at me. They're right there. And
Okay,
I don't
so
know
I'm
why.
gonna ask you, you're right-handed, aren't you, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay, now that's interesting because I'm left-handed and I usually hear spirit on the left-hand side. Wouldn't that be interesting if somebody could do a research study to see?
And find out. Yeah, if that has anything to do with it. I know people always ask me, I'm always looking up on the right. I'm always, they're like, why do you look at the right? I'm like, I don't know. That's just where the energy seems to be for me, on the right or straight ahead.
Okay, Nicole says she's also right-handed. Roger, what hand are you? Because Roger Garza is a psychic medium. What hand are you, Roger? Let's just do a quick, anybody that's using their psychic abilities, everybody's got them. Let us know, what hand are you and what side do you hear spirit on? Why not? We'll do a little experiment right now. Hello, Shannon Casey.
Hi, Shannon. No, somebody's going to go, I'm ambidextrous. They're everywhere.
I'm hearing them on both sides.
Yeah, right? They're in stereo.
Oh, Foxy Joe says, I'm glad I came across you guys. Well, we're glad you came across.
Thank you, Foxy. Left side. Yeah.
Oh, Shannon, you're like me then. I didn't know you were left-handed like me. So there you go. Two lefties. We heard on the left and we got two righties that hear on the right.
Right. I also hear ringtones quite
and Kathy here is left-handed and hears it on the right.
And here, you're just different, Kathy.
Yeah, I love it. Kathy, is there any chance you're ambidextrous? I know I am because I broke my left wrist and I was in a cast for about 8 weeks. And my dad had always tried to get me to switch to my right hand when I was little. Now, my handwriting, I have terrible handwriting anyways, but my handwriting was nowhere near what my left hand was, but I could use both. Like, I can't cut with scissors with my left hand. I have to use my right hand.
See, I got to use my right hand, but you know what? I eat ambidextrous. So I hold silverware ambidextrous. It doesn't matter what hand I put it in. It just works for me. That's the weird.
Your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I will just forego the silverware and put my face right in the plate.
Roger says, yay, lefty. So I didn't see your comment, Roger. I got to go up unless you can see it, Dave, because he's a lefty. But what side do you hear spirit on, Roger? Did I miss that?
I don't
know.
think
you put it in yet.
Oh,
he's on the left. He's left. Okay, so he's a lefty. And we got a lot of lefties here. And
yeah, what's up?
Yeah, because left-handers only make up 10% of the population. So we got a lot of lefties here.
Well, how many blue-eyed people do we have in here too? Let's just separate us all. Only 20% of us are blue-eyed.
How about we're celebrating the uniqueness of us all?
Yeah, tonight on the thing at the foot of the bed, diversity.
Okay, this is so cool. So Linda Nelson says, I never thought of that except with hypnosis, where it is about past, present, or future. I'm just starting to notice and pay attention to psychic messages and visions. I'm right-handed. Well, that's cool. I like it. Awesome.
Yeah, you know what? I would say this. If you are listening to us and you're just learning how to use your stuff and you think you should use your right hand if you're right side, if you're right-handed, listen, it's just how it's working out for us. We're not saying that it's going to work out for everybody like that. So
we're all unique and different, David.
Yeah, everyone's unique. We're just finding a lot of us are hearing on the right for some reason.
That's why I asked you, Kathy. So Kathy's comment, I'm a product of the Catholic school and nuns that tried to make me use my right hand. I don't know why, but I almost wondered if that's what happened to you. I was feeling that. That's why I asked you that, because it made sense. Maybe that's why. Maybe you, because as children, right, our brains are young and plastic. Not that I'm calling old brains or anything. What I'm saying is, and we can still develop new neural pathways, all kinds of stuff in our brains till the day we die. But when we're young, right, we are super pliable. So I wonder if you almost developed different pathways to both hands, maybe. I don't know.
Foxy Joe says, I wear my money and my abundance bracelets on my left wrist. Do you know what's really odd is my left, well, it is our left, isn't our left hand is closer to the heart for some reason. There's a connection to the heart. And I tend to wear a lot of my stuff on my left hand as well.
I wear it on my right.
Yeah, and you wear it on your right. So she wears on the opposite. And
Yeah.
for some reason, I guess it really doesn't matter where I wear stuff, but I try to put, when I go out, and I don't wear jewelry ever because I can't wear jewelry except for my earrings. That's it. But if I do wear something temporarily, it always goes on my left wrist for some reason.
So I want to comment on Shannon. Geez, I'm starting to feel like a freak. You're not a freak. You're a lefty, just like I am, and a bunch of us, and righties. We got lots of blue eyes commenting in here. I'm a brown-eyed person. That was been around for forever. Let's see, what else have we got going on here? Sherry, I've been watching the sky all week here in Arizona. I've got so many amazing pictures. Well, Sherry Burst, please share them with us in the group, right?
Yeah, Sherry, join the group and share them in the group. Love to see them.
So Polly Miller, hi Polly. Sorry. See, you guys are commenting and I'm losing you. Hang on, Polly Miller, welcome. I don't think we said hello to you yet. Hang on, we really jumped here. So she says, after breaking my right wrist, I learned to write in a mirror image with the left, and it all seemed natural. Weird. I think that's cool. Not that you broke your wrist, about the writing part.
Yeah, well, breaking your wrist, though, I mean, if you look back at it all, it's like, that was exciting. I mean, when I look back at, when I look back at when I've gotten hurt in my lifetime, I think to myself, wow, what an experience. That was really cool. I went past it, It's
I broke my ankle on air on my previous network I was on. Thank God we weren't on video, but we were on video amongst us, but not broadcasting out. It was audio only, and I was on a female paranormal panel, and my ankle completely rolled right over from my back injury. My legs will give out, and then as I tried to get back up, it did it again, and I didn't say a word. But all the other 3 women that were on quote said, "Oh my God, you like literally just went green." My ankle was about this big, so. There you go. I had to throw that in there. So Kathy says, nuns thought you are evil if you use your left hand. Yes, it was very much believed. My father was from a large French Canadian Catholic family, right? That's why he wanted my hand switched to my right hand, because it was believed you were sinister and evil. I think the Latin word for left hand has some sinistra or something in it, I believe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard something about that. They made people do that because it was supposed to be evil, but that's how humans used to be.
You're but Mary said the same thing. Evil. Her brother stopped using his left hand.
No,
it's not evil, but being left-handed is not evil. Mm-mm.
Heather says, "What side of the bed do you sleep on?" If I don't fall out of bed like I normally would, I said,
if you don't have anything at the foot of your bed.
Yeah, there's nothing at the foot. Yeah, I sleep at the foot of my bed. I don't really have a side of the bed, which is so funny. But you know what? Also, too, I'm a single person, and I've been single for 13 years now, and I prefer to stay that way. So I don't have a side. In fact, if somebody else even got my bed, I would just say, get out, because I get the whole bed.
It's awesome. Now, Foxy Joe, I'm going to let you know a little secret. He says at 57, I'm old and have blue eyes. Guess what? I'm going to be 59 in August, and I won't tell you.
I'm going to be 58. Yeah.
I'm going to be 58. You're not old.
Yeah, Joe, Foxy Joe, we are all young and we were all foxy. Age doesn't mean a damn thing.
Age is just a number.
Unless you're what is it, Frank Sinatra? Wasn't Frank Sinatra old blue eyes?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, maybe Foxy Joe is really Frank Sinatra.
Okay, Nicole says should be 52 this May. Kathy Hanley Little says I'm 66. And you know what? I always say age is just a number. I always say it's not my job to judge, even though, I mean, we all judge, right? But my point is, I've never understood why it's usually women. I'm sorry it is. They don't want to tell their age. I think we should celebrate all of it, like who we are. And, wisdom is wasted on the, I want to say, older people. It is. Don't you wish you had the wisdom you do now when you were young?
Oh my gosh. You know what? And I thought somebody had asked me that before. Would I go back and be young, knowing what I know now? And I'll say the same thing I said to them. No, been there, done that. I'm over it. I'd like that, but I don't. But I don't know, because we would have been different. We would have been way too different, I think. I wish I knew if
we're learning that. Oh my God, Shannon, I have to comment on this because I understand this. So Shannon says, my sister and I are both left-handed, the only ones in our family. So our grandma taught us how to knit standing in front of a mirror. Your grandmother is brilliant, because my grandmother tried to teach me, and my stitches would all come out. I don't even know how I did it. Like, it would be knit, but they'd come on a slant. Do you know how I learned how to knit? When I was in university, I had 4 or 5 friends I hung around with, and one of them was left-handed and a beautiful knitter. That is how I learned, because people don't realize when you're left-handed, anything like that, you literally have to stand behind someone, or you have to have like a brilliant grandma like you did, Shannon, that taught you in the mirror, because you have to do it almost backwards.
Yeah, I looked at everybody on here is literally Gen X watching what's up.
There you guys go. Wow, you really don't look it seriously. Well, thank you. I was going to say that too about Nicole Thomas Ryan. Nicole, and I've seen you before, like in a video. I would have thought you were like late 30s. So there you go. See?
Yeah. And
I'm going to be 59. You're 66 this year. I'm going to be 59. There's not. See, we're all around the same age here.
Yeah.
So we can just say we're all young. We're all Gen Xers. I hate those labels, but
Roger says he's 73 going on 74.
You two look so young, because Faye sent me a message. I haven't had a chance to message her. I had no idea. You know what I've been saying, though? It's a little bit off topic, but quickly, that when you look back to the Golden Girls, most of those girls that were playing those roles were around our age. Now you look at our age group, it's almost like we are the new 40. Think about it. We are,
because younger. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't, you know, it's really funny, and I don't care if they're listening, but most of the people that I went to high school with in New Berlin, Wisconsin, a lot of them who still live in New Berlin, Wisconsin, look absolutely awful. And I think, I'm not saying that in a mean way. I'm saying, when I look at them, I always think, what happened to you? Why do you look like that? Because they don't look, I mean, a lot of them don't look young. And I think the people, I think the harder your life and the more that you had experiences, I think the longer you are, the more. There's an old saying, and I was listening to Daryl Anka the other day, who channels Bashar, and Bashar was talking about something that was really interesting. He said, how do you stop time? And he said, in order to stop time, you just have to be in the moment. He said, if you stay in the moment all the time, you physically don't age. And that's true. The more you stay in the moment, the more happier and everything you tend to be.
It's what you tell yourself. And somebody reminded me of this when I turned 50. This is not a wrinkle on my chin. This is a scar here and here. And I hated it. And I happened to say something off air, and they reminded me of this, and I do it all the time. The older I get, the younger I look. And I tell myself that all the time, because I think we are, again, what we perceive becomes what we believe, and it becomes our reality. Julie, Julie says I'll be 63 in May. I would never have believed. I know Julie quite well. So there you go. And exactly. Well, you just said this. You are what you think or eat. LOL. Yes, we've heard that. Hi, Herbert Lopez. Yes, the Golden Girls. How awesome was that show?
I loved it. And we're going to have to start carding people from our shows right now, because you guys, and now we're going to have to watch our language, knowing that you guys are all just tiny, teeny, tiny little teenagers. Roger Garza says, we're in Baldwin, Wisconsin. Oh, you're in Baldwin, Wisconsin. I didn't know you guys are in Wisconsin. I went to school in New Berlin, Wisconsin, and then we moved to West Dallas, and I lived on Lake Michigan in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for the longest.
Nicole, I have had it, believe it or not. Yes, not as often as it used to be, but I have been carded too at my age, believe it or not. I have gone out with friends that have been a few years older than me, and especially a few years back, I would get asked if they were my mom. My grandmother looked very young on my dad's side. My grandmother was pregnant every year for 25 years. Very miserable woman. I can't blame her. I guess now that I know.
Every year for 25 years. Holy
A
cow.
good French Canadian Roman Catholic family, and they ended up with 17 kids. But my grandmother never looked her age. So there you go.
Wow.
Nicole, you do. Actually, I was thinking it was Nicole Thomas Ryan. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you in person yet, Nicole, but yes, that's interesting. I think I know who this is, though. I think I do. I'm positive I do. If I do, then I do know you. Okay, where are we here?
Oh, if you can talk for one moment, I need to get a drink of water because my voice is.
Go ahead.
Be right back.
Let's talk about some of these things that I downloaded for. I forgot I don't have my usual phone here. That was the one thing. My phone, the battery wouldn't charge. It was charging, but it wouldn't charge. And I actually did a podcast before there were podcasts. I won an iPhone when they came to the US. They didn't come to Canada for a year later, and I had no clue what I was doing. And that's how my tech, I'm really into tech stuff and really enjoy it. And I actually did a podcast teaching people how to use their iPhones. So I eventually got it working. So it's downstairs charging. But here we are. Oh, Nicole, congrats. Then I do know who you are. I thought I did. I looked at you and I went, do I know Nicole? And then David sounded like he knew you, but I know who you are. And I know how I know you. She says, I just released my 15th book today, Beyond the Stars, True UFO Encounters. Love it. Share your book in our group, Nicole. Please do. We'd love to see it. Oh, Sherry says her grandfather was the eldest of 16. I know you from Jason's show, Nicole Ray. I'm positive I do. Jason Bland from Paranormal Soup. Okay, hang on. Now I downloaded, okay, because as y'all know, it's a thing at the foot of the bed. We got to talk about spooky stuff. So 13 Frightening Fiends, Fiends, for the full moon. So this is by David Gallagher, and he's talking. Actually, I'm just going to start to read some of it. It says, take cover. A full moon is upon us this weekend, and mentions their names. Then it says silver bullets, stagecoaches, train robberies. Oh, I thought maybe I froze or you. So, sorry, train robberies and tin stars. We're all familiar with the rustic trappings of the Western. But what separates cowboy fiction from a bad AFS weird Western? And he's talking about that, goes through it. So one of the things, werewolves from the folklore, full moon.
Rare.
I was talking about 13 things like legend and lore, monsters, beasties, things that people talk about with the full moon. Is that okay? Do you want me to send you this, Dave? I just thought of that.
Yeah, I'd love that. Do you know what else? My favorite meme that goes around Facebook at the full moon is when they say it's a full moon. It's a good night for a werewolf to come out.
Yes. Okay, hang on. I'll send it to you. Hang on.
Yeah.
Here we go. Give me 1 sec. I'll send it to Dave on Facebook. There we go. Okay, so then David can read some of them. So I'm not sitting here talking nonstop. So werewolves, gifted with unusual speed, strength, reflexes. I've also heard of them called lycans before. And senses. These shape-shifting savages have been depicted in countless comics, movies, and television shows. Excuse me. Often associated with the full moon, werewolves have a long and rich history that dates back to ancient Greece. In the Middle Ages, many Europeans believed wolves were tools of the devil, and the animals were ruthlessly haunted. Epileptics and the mentally ill were often convicted of being werewolves and murdered because of it. That is awful. But the one thing I was going to say was had to do, some of these things that are more common, and we've talked about this before on this show, Dave. You just got to find it, Nicole. We'll let you know all about it. It's called The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with David Hanzel and Lorilei Potvin. You can find it on Facebook. So feel free if you want to join.
I think it goes Lorilei Potvin and then David Hanzel. So
you're right. I'm sorry. I was thinking of you. You are
okay.
right.
I just, right when you said it, it flashed in front of my eyes and I went, oh yeah, that's right.
That's right. That's right. David is right. I was trying to be polite. After I said that, I thought, no, I think it's backwards. So thank you. Anyways, I was going to say, and we've talked about this before, is that when these things that are really well known, that have persisted through time, there's got to be a little kernel of something in there. Either they existed before, because otherwise, if they weren't true, long before social media and TV and movies and stuff, right? People would sit around, whether it was fire, the campfire, whatever it was, and elders would tell stories and they'd share stories. So I've always wondered, like little tiny kernels of kind of like the game of telephone, right? Like maybe they really weren't werewolves, but something else. And we've now persisted with werewolves throughout time. What do you think, Dave?
Yes.
Did you find it yet?
No, I got lost. I was trying to, I can't find you, Nicole Ray. You just have to find the group. I tried to find you. That Giants thing, I saw that afterwards. That looked
okay.
Really
well, there's one. Okay, you want to read it? It's the Fomorians. You want to read that, and I'll try and add Nicole.
Yeah, if you want to.
I think I can find her because I think I don't know if she's still on my friends list or not. Oh wow, it's
okay. So you did David Gallagher. You did werewolves. So another one, 13 things. Oh,
the Fomorians.
Gollum is the name of that.
Yes, the Fomorians.
The Fomorians, in Irish Celtic mythology, the Fomorians are a race of demonic giants, ancient occupants of Ireland. Visually, they eschew the sort of symmetry you'd find common in most monsters. Like snowflakes, none of them are exactly alike. These giant creatures have multiple eyes, multiple mouths, and extra extremities. Sounds like people I went to high school with. These beasts, frequently associated with drought, plague, and crop blight, were soundly beaten when the Irish race of gods arrived. Their mutated and asymmetrical appearance inspired the visceral illustrations provided by Steve in High Moon. It's a painting called High Moon, I think. Quite wonderful. Sorry, Twilight fan. You know what? I watched for Twilight, and this is just my opinion. I watched, I never read the books, and I watched one show. The only thing that got me for Twilight, I actually enjoyed parts of Twilight, especially.
I loved Edward.
I'm a werewolf guy. I am a big werewolf. Yeah, but the whole sparkling vampire thing.
Oh, that was so cheesy. Oh my!
That's what threw me off. That's what made me go nope.
But isn't this always the way, Nicole? And Nicole, I did know you. We still are friends on Facebook. I thought so. You are exactly who I thought you were. And she just wrote a book, her 15th book about UFOs. So I asked her, please share it with the group too.
Oh yeah, share it in the group so people can see that. I love UFO
stuff. Better. No, she said, I
Yeah.
think the books are better. Aren't they always? Don't you find?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They are. I believe so too. The books are usually better. Although it's like Harry Potter. I watched the movies first because I didn't read the books because I didn't want to ruin the movie. I liked
the books. No, you had to read the books. Like we were lined up. We would go to the Harry Potter nights with our kids when I was married to my first husband. And then he'd usually let me read it. Like I literally would not eat or drink or anything. Like I would just read the book. And some of them were like this thick. They were so incredible. Really good. Same as 50 Shades. 50 Shades of Grey was way better.
Oh yeah. I read a lot of books, but none of the books I read, I don't get in. It's odd. It's so odd. I can't read a book that has a story to it. I have the hardest time reading a book. I have to read nonfiction, educational, and documentaries. I know I'm so boring. But that's just how my brain works. I
listen to documentaries and I don't have the time to read books. But what I will do, I will plug in an audiobook to listen to while I'm doing something else. That way I'm multitasking. Because otherwise, if it's a good book, and no, I am the weirdo maybe because for me, if it's a good book, but no, those would not be textbooks and information. But I will sit there and read. Like literally won't go to bed. Like won't eat, like maybe have a glass of water or something beside me I'll just keep reading because I'll be like so immersed in the story. I have to know what happens.
I blame the world because I used to, back when I was in my 40s, when I was reading like all these spiritual books and all that, I read them like before internet stuff. You know, when I first got my glasses, when I was 40, I was reading book after book after book after book. But as soon as the audio came out, I probably listened to 30 books a year or more. just in my car and this and that. That's what I do.
Want to know
Nicole,
the best app?
Well,
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to say, you want to know the best app, y'all? And I keep telling them they should hire me. It's called Scribed, SCRIB as in boy, D as in dog.com. Now they've split off because they become so big, but if you go to scribe.com, you'll still find it. It gives you 30 days free. It's free. They're starting to add podcasts, magazines, documents, audiobooks, written books, anything you can possibly think of. And there is no limit, including I have found a plethora of books that are out of print. Like you can't find them. They're not printed anymore.
What's it called?
Scribed, SCRI.
Oh, I think I heard of that. Is that free?
It's for, that's where what I was going to say. So the first 30 days is free. I have lists. Dell has his own list. He makes his lists. And then if I find I'm using a book a lot, I will go and purchase it. But it's $8.99 US per month after. I pay about almost $12, but I'm telling you, it's incredible because if I want to find a book and even if like there's stuff that's out of print still, like, you know what I even found on there once? I found the Peanuts and the Hello Kitty tarot deck plus the book and everything. So if I wanted to, I could really print it. If I
they have a Peanuts tarot deck?
Yes, they do.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God. You guys guess what deck I'm gonna go find?
David, it's out of print. They don't make it anymore. But we can download it and print it, and then you just put it on cardstock. I'm going to write that down, scribe.com. Okay, I'm going to write that down. Remind me, and I will put because if I'm a Hello Kitty, well, actually, I love Kuromi from Hello Kitty, but I'll put Peanuts deck. Now, you guys, I swear to God.
Kelly says, "Oh my God, how cool! I want that deck too. I do too now."
Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas. Hang on, where is it? I have the mini deck of it.
Oh, look at that! A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, I have it. No, the Peanuts deck is adorable. I have a kawaii.
Yeah, did you see that, Nicole?
Did
you see that? Nicole put her comment up right when you put up that. She said, I have the.
That's what you said. You wanted it. I didn't know that. That's so cool.
She said, I have that.
You know what else you have a tarot deck for? Because my son has abilities, my eldest, and he found it because he does drag part-time. They have a drag tarot deck.
Oh, I bet that's fun. I have like a drag oracle deck.
Well, that would be cool. You know what else I have? I have the Supernatural tarot deck because I love Supernatural.
You guys, this deck, I'll show it to you. If anybody's watching, this little deck right here, it's this little deck called Force Fae, and it's very avant-garde. In fact, it's an oracle deck, though. So if you're an oracle reader, this is one where it really leaves you open for interpretation. That's another fun little deck to use. I like some of those weird.
Nicole? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. Sorry, Dave. I thought you were finished. I apologize.
I am.
I was just going to say, Nicole, Scribe doesn't have an E in it, though. There's no E. It's S, because I'll highlight it, Dave. You'll see what I'm talking about. So if you're watching the screen, you'll see. So it's SCRIBD.com.
BD. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, tonight I think my internet's working fast. Well, maybe not, because I keep thinking there's a pause, you guys, and I forget to remind you. I'm not purposely speaking over Dave, so Dave knows, but I want to apologize anyways because I'm behind.
If anybody's listening, we have a slight delay between our conversations, so it sounds like we talk over each other, but we're not, and we're not rude, and we don't yell at each other afterwards, so we're all good. Yeah.
Hi, Kelly. I don't think we said hi, but she said hi a couple of times, and then she said, "Oh my goodness, it's getting better." I don't know what that means, but thank you.
About all the cards and all the fun deck cards.
We talked about what y'all want to talk about. So Foxy Joe says, I loved Werewolves of London. I believe I saw that movie once. Did you see it, Dave?
I don't know if I saw that one. Some of my favorite movies are, I love the American Werewolf in London. I loved that movie with David, what's his face? I can't remember. I loved that movie. It was good. Although I think somebody tried to make a part 2, which wasn't very good. I liked the first one.
I think I saw it. Oh, you know
Yeah.
what movie I like with the werewolves, and they're called Lycans and Vampires. Oh my God, Kate.
I just watched it. Kate Beckett.
Kate. Oh my God, the trilogy. There's a fourth one. The fourth one was
Yes.
good. What was that
What's it
called?
called? Oh, I gotta look it up. I just watched it. I just watched a trailer of one with the lichens and all that, and the
That was
vampires against
such a good. Oh my God, those were good. So Nicole Ray, yes, you spelled it perfectly. Scribed. I'm gonna put it in a group for you all tonight anyway. So if you want to find it, and then I know I had. Hang on. Oh, I love the Wednesday series too, Nicole. I've been watching it. Underworld. Kathy got it. Underworld.
Underworld. Thank you. You beat me. Underworld. I remember the first time I saw Underworld, and I thought it was really good and really well put together, and I liked it a lot. There's another good vampire movie too. It was
Thanks, Kathy.
there's another one where the whole world is vampires, and they actually use non-vampires and they breed them for food. I can't remember the name of that movie, and it's really good movie too. And if the vampire would suck their own blood, they started mutating. It was just, I can't remember the name of that movie, and it's such a good movie. I gotta think about it.
I'm trying to remember. What was the one with Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds? That was funny, that one. That was
Blade. Aren't those the Blade movies?
Blade. Yeah. Oh, you crochet, Nicole. I can't crochet yet. That's the one craft I cannot do yet. One of these days I will figure it out. She mentioned I want to make a pink snood, and I'm going,
Blade,
a snood. Oh, I know what that is.
Nicole Ray says, do you guys have a favorite tarot cards? You want to know? I'm going to tell you the honest God's truth. I own a lot of tarot cards. I own the original Rider-Waite decks and other ones.
Me too.
But I love my Oracle decks.
Me too.
Even better than tarot. I love tarot, but you know what? I'm an intuitive tarot reader, which means I don't memorize the deck as much. I just love my oracles though. I love my oracle cards.
We both do. Because I have probably about 80 decks, if not more. I have a bit of a problem. I love them. But the thing is, I prefer oracle decks. I always have. Supernatural deck, I could read that intuitively like the back of my hand, because it's each character, right? And I know the series that well. Oh, I heard Shannon. Do you want to read Shannon's comment? Sorry.
Shannon Casey, I am on board with that. Shannon says you need to watch the show What We Do in the Shadows. Anybody who is listening right now, I will tell you that show is so worth watching it. Watch it from the beginning so you know how it goes. But it is like, it's supposed to be scripted like a reality TV show, but it's with vampires that have been going from lifetime to life through it is the best show. It is hilarious. The special effects in it are freaking amazing just because of the fact it looks like you're watching a reality TV show. It doesn't look like CGI. It looks absolutely real. And I love that show. It makes me laugh all the time.
I did hear that. You know what I was going to say? Okay, so Joe Montaldo, I mentioned him at the beginning of the show, who owns a network. He's in New Orleans, Louisiana. And I've gotten him to talk a few times about this because he talked about it once. Because once upon a time ago, if say we had a show opening spot, and it usually was Mondays, we would have a paranormal panel, and any of our multitude of hosts that were available, we would come on and talk about everything paranormal. And I always forget the name of the restaurant. There's a really old restaurant, I believe he said in the French Quarter. And is it Andres maybe? But anyways, there's portraits of the owner throughout time. It's been there for well over 100 years. And it keeps looking like the same person, but like just period outfits. And the same owner looks like, so it's rumored he's a vampire who owns this restaurant.
Very cool. Oh no, I love stories like that. You know what? I don't know. I don't know what truth is to what story, but I like the romance. I like the romance of vampires and werewolves. I know that sounds really weird, but I like how I would never want to be a vampire though. Well, one, I don't eat meat. So, I mean, what would I bite into, a pickled beet or something? I don't know. I just don't. But I think I just love love.
Maybe your
That's all.
thoughts. Well, maybe you'd be, well, no, you wouldn't want to hurt animals. So maybe you'd have to do the blood bank.
Yeah. It's kind of like a zombie. If I turned into a zombie, what would I do?
I don't think
I would start.
No,
Daybreakers. Thank you, Kathy.
Mindless eating machine going around and going with the crowd, hanging out. You're all zombies. Whatever one does, they all do. And anything alive, you eat it.
Yep, exactly. Kathy Hanley, that movie I was talking about with the vampires who bite themselves and all that, it's called Daybreakers.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Daybreakers isn't Kathy, did you see it? That movie is a really, really good movie. And it's really kind of sad too. You feel sorry for the vampires after a while.
So, okay, Julie Jane Bassett said she loves her oracle decks. You guys, if you're looking for a great animal communicator, I'm going to give her a shout out. And she is an incredible shamanic practitioner. Julie Jane Bassett is your girl. She loves her oracle decks, she said. And she said, I've heard that story too about that restaurant in the French Quarter in Louisiana. I told you. Yeah, like I said, Joe's talked about it a few times. He's lived there his whole life. And yeah, that's the rumor in the French Quarter. And the pictures look like they're look like period pictures from each decade or a couple decades. And
if he's not a vampire, it also could be he could be extraterrestrial, because extraterrestrials tend to live longer than human beings as well.
True. There is a vampire community in that area. I know that. I know somebody that well, she didn't keep it a secret. It was my previous co-host that was part of that community. Yeah. And when we were on our previous network, when we did the Spookathon, her guest had canceled at the last minute. I believe it's still on YouTube. Anyways, I hung out with her because we did a lot of work together. And she goes, I said, what do you want to talk about? And she said, nobody's ever asked me about why do I identify with being a vampire and what is it about? So I asked her a lot of questions.
Yeah, everybody has. I like Nicole Ray said when we were talking about zombies, she said, I hate to do all that walking. I would too. I couldn't be a zombie. If I'm a zombie.
Is a zombie by choice, David.
Yeah. But if I do, I'm going to just be I'm going to be malnourished. And two, I'm going to have to be able to drive my car. I'm not walking.
David, when you're a zombie, you have no brains left. You're dead. You're just like a walking corpse that is.
But I'm saying if I'm aware, I won't be able to.
You're not aware as a zombie. Well, no, there was a movie out there. Remember, somebody had a zombie. It was a teen.
Warm Bodies. Warm Bodies it's called. I think it's called Warm Bodies, where the guy came out of being a zombie.
Is that where she tried to train him and stuff? And he was actually a nice looking guy when he wasn't a zombie.
Yeah, I can't remember. She fell in love and he came out of being a zombie. But you know what, zombies though, and zombies are fun, but in the beginning and back in the 50s, zombies were very slow and literally anybody could outrun them, but yet still they made horror movies about them. But as time went on, the virus changed within the movies, which I thought was kind of cool. They did an evolution of zombies. If you go back from the beginning to zombies now, there's an evolution of zombies.
Have you watched The Walking Dead? I've seen it every episode of that. I don't know. Yeah, and World War Z zombies. Those exactly, Nicole. Yep. That was awful. Mm-hmm. That was
Herbert Lopez. David, did you see Rise Blood Hunter?
You didn't see it. So
no,
sorry.
I didn't. There was thinking of when you said Blood Hunter, there's also a werewolf. Oh, Dogs of War, I think it's called. Dogs of War, where they on one they're all soldiers, but they're actually werewolves. And that one's really cool.
Ooh, listen to this. So Polly Miller said, truth. My boss immigrated from Romania as a child, and he's a tepe. I don't think I know what a tepes is.
Tepes? I want to know.
You have to tell us, Polly, because I don't know what. We'll have to look it up. I don't know what
I'm looking it up right now.
Never heard of it. Oh, Nicole Ray says, I still like Teen Wolf. Yeah, I don't like really scary movies. Well, okay, so Nicole, you haven't been here before. So the big long-standing joke of our group, we started a year ago, the first Thursday after New Year's. So we're just over a year, about 14 months. Yeah, about 14 months. So I brought it up one night about the first Friday the 13th movie, and was it Friday the 13th or Halloween? I always get it mixed up. I think it's Friday the 13th. Anyways, Kevin Bacon was in it, and I have a picture of Kevin Bacon in a Speedo, and God knows what the heck he's got in his pants. I don't know if it's a Pez machine, we thought, Dave, or a pack of gum.
Spencer. Yeah, Vlad.
Oh, like Vlad the Impaler?
Yeah,
Tepe. That's what you meant. Okay, Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it says tepes is a variant of the name tepes, which is the Romanian word for impaler. It is famously associated with Vlad III, known as Vlad the Impaler, a historical figure who ruled the Prince of blah, blah, blah in the 15th century. Yep. Awesome.
Well, we've heard that. Hi, Howie. We thought we lost you. Howie goes, yeah, I remember that. I thought you had to get back to work, Howie. I'm glad you're still here. What I was saying, though, I was going back. Oh, anyways, back to the legend and lore, if you guys are new here of our group. So the big thing is, and I think it was Nicole Thomas Ryan who gave us this nickname, the thong at the end of the bed. And she's
at the foot of the bed.
A picture of Kevin Bacon in the Speedo with the creepy whatever's in his pants, and he's at the end of the bed.
Yeah, it's the thong at the foot of the bed. It's a foot long thong.
And how he says, I remember that. There's a picture in the group, didn't we put it? I put it up. One of us did. We put it up in the group.
Yeah, you put a picture in the group, and then I put a picture in the group referring to what's different in this picture. Nobody's using cell phones, and it was actually a scene from Friday the 13th 2 that Kevin Bacon was in, where they're all sitting around the campfire.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've got Bacon references all over the place.
We do. So if you join the group, and you most people here have been here for a long time, they know all the references and the thong at the front. Yeah, you missed that, but you'll get caught up, Nicole Ray.
You'll get caught up, yeah.
Yep. So we're we haven't come up with a name for you guys. Like my Paranormal University group, I just call them my para peeps. The Angel Rocker Tribe, I call them my angels. I never asked Dave, or maybe you guys can come up with a good name for us.
Yeah, we just call you our little thingies.
Hey y'all. Hey y'all.
Yeah. Our little thingies. Or actually, that's what Kevin Bacon called himself in that Speedo.
If you guys have a good name you want us to call you when we post and stuff, feel free to share it.
Yeah, because we can't call you thingies and we can't call you feet.
Because I thought about thongers. Well, that's what Joe calls us, the foot. He can't remember the name of our show, so he calls us the foot. The foot show.
And I don't remember how the story goes exactly, but just to bring it up since we're having fun. Now, the thing at the foot of the bed was, I had brought that up to Lorilei because it was a book I read when I was a child and I loved it. And actually I got a version of it, but there's a story at the thing at the foot of the bed where a man, he's sleeping in the bed and all of a sudden he kind of wakes up and he looks, and at the end of the bed, he sees two eyes that are just staring at him. He takes the covers and he pulls it over his head and he pulls it down a little bit again. And there's those two eyes just glowing in the moonlight. They're just glowing. And he finally reaches over, he grabs his gun or his pew and he shoots at the two eyes at the end of the bed, and it ended up being his toes. The moonlight was reflecting off his nails.
Oh, Kevin came. Oh, so I love it. That's cool. So Howie called us, we are the Thingoras. I like it.
The Thingoras.
Kevin's here from work. Zisa and Dragon. Footwalkers. That's pretty good.
The Footwalkers. Yeah. I'm a footwalker.
Okay, so as what you just shared from the thing at the foot of the bed, Nicole Ray said, I seen a ghostly headless specter once, quite scary, wrote it in my latest book.
Ooh, cool.
So Sherry said, I read all of the Sookie Stackhouse series before I ever watched an episode of True Blood. I liked the books better. I knew that name sounded familiar. One of my friends was super into that series. That was one series I never watched. Did you watch it, Dave?
True Blood? I can tell you this, guys, except for What We Do in the Shadows, I don't think I've really ever watched any series of anything that was scary. I don't know why. The spooky footies.
I like that one too. Well, you guys, tell you what, we'll make a post. I'm going to put that in a name, and then we'll vote. I'll put a poll in. You guys can vote. How does that sound?
Yeah, you guys go into she'll put a poll up in our Facebook group. Go in there and vote on it.
Yeah, that's
any suggestions. You can add, if you make it so they can add suggestions.
Yeah, they will be able to. You guys can add suggestions. Yeah.
There we go. Perfect.
Because Howie's going here. Footwalkers, dig it. What's that? Footwalker clan. Everybody's starting to get on the foot stuff.
Yeah. We can just call you the throw blankets because that's like what's at the foot of my bed. Throw blanket. Hey, a throw blanket. That's not even scary. Your throw blanket. It can smother you.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, nothing. No, go to the Footwalker clan.
Oh,
I'm just
reading has the Rift Nation Network. Okay. And he has the Travelers of the Rift. And I know he calls people that are part of the Rift Nation Network travelers. So that's what, and I've been thinking, because I have a name, like I said, for my 2 other group that I call people. Oh, Nicole, this is a good one. Okay, so we go, that's 2 for Footwalkers, but Nicole said Haunted Throws. Okay. Oh, that's his name. Kathy, I didn't know why you put that name up there. So apparently the guy rumored to be, and you were absolutely right. I don't know why I thought it was Andre's restaurant, but his name is Jacques Saint Germain, the New Orleans vampire.
Oh, thank you, Roger.
So we are the travelers, Howie says, and it's true. And I always know what Howie's talking about. And like I said, for my group, when I go to write a message, it just sort of, the name just sort of came out. So, and then the Angel Rocker Tribe group I call them my angels. And yeah, so I thought, I've been thinking about that. I've been meaning to ask you, and it just sort of came up tonight. And I thought, why don't we let these guys pick it? They're the ones that show what it is. Thanks.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I just refer to you guys as the things.
What
that thing wrote?
Nicole's calling us the peepers. Now we sound like we're pervs.
Yeah, well, the paranormal peepers.
What was that, Dave? Sorry?
The paranormal peepers.
Ooh, almost like the paranormal poopers.
Yeah. The hangnails. The things.
Oh, the hangnails. Hangnails.
Light walkers.
Okay, so this is what we'll do then. We'll make a post. Y'all can put your names, and then we'll once we got a bunch of names, I will make a poll up, and then you guys can add something if you want to. How's that sound?
Yes.
Does that sound good?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I wanted to talk about Nicole Ray. I find that it's great, interesting that you're talking about UFOs. And if you want to, oh wait, you know what? Before I get to that, if you go back up, Kaysen had a question and I missed it.
Oh, Kaysen, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Okay,
it's up at the top. Yeah,
way at the top.
Wait, it's Shiri. Oh, where did it go? I'm trying. It's back before the Dracula stuff, so it's been there. I don't know.
Retype it? Can he just retype it, maybe?
Yeah, Kaysen, if you can remember the question you asked, retype that again.
Here it is. I found it.
It was a really good question. Oh yeah, there it is. So Kaysen said, if you're going through constant bad luck, could that mean your karma has decided to wean itself quickly and get it over with?
No.
No. I agree. Karma isn't a thing. Karma is an action or something we go through or something we call. For me, it's a title. Karma for me is an exchange of experience. I do know what you're saying though. Mm-hmm. If you're going through constant bad luck, it's basically because you took one little bit of bad luck and probably held on to that because the universe just gives you more of whatever you're feeling. So did you ever notice those people who go, I never get anything right. I never get this right. I never look good. I'll never find a boyfriend. I'll never find a girlfriend. I'll never. Those people rarely ever find what they're looking for because they keep saying it. So I agree with Lorilei. I don't think that myself. I think
karma doesn't have an intelligence or exactly. It's not a thing. Like you'll hear karma is a biatch, not quite that word. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. Okay. When everything is energy, right? And it's kind of like in duality here. So the more, I always say what you put out, and I don't mean it this way, I'm going to explain it, comes back to you. And I don't mean that if you're nasty and evil, it's going to come back to you, but it's like attracts like energies where I'm coming from, not from a place of punishment. It's the type of energy you're putting out is what is going to be a match for what you're putting out. So karma would never decide. Now, maybe you might have decided as a soul, some of the experiences that you're experiencing, you're doing this for a reason. What's it going to teach you about your life and your time while you're here? Yeah. But I would say, no, it doesn't decide. I just wanted to put quickly, I like that, Nicole. She said the bacons. And Sherry said, never say never. And then I'm going to share Howie's. Do you want to read that, Dave? Sorry, go ahead. I keep cutting you off.
Howie said, where it came from the Travelers, Time Lords, Doctor Who. Oh, that's right. Okay. It did come from that. Steampunk Space and Time Travelers of the Universe. Wow, I never explained it before. Smiles. I never thought about that either, Doctor Who. I have not seen Doctor Who in such a long time.
I've just watched episodes here and there because I know if I start watching it, I won't be able to stop.
Yeah, I've only remember watching Doctor Who when I was a young lad back in the day and watched it as a child. My parents grew up letting me. I was one of those lucky kids. When I was like 6, 7, 8, whatever, I was allowed to watch any horror show movie. My parents took us to them. We were always allowed to go see them because my mom always told her friends, are like, why do you let your kids watch that stuff? Because she said, that's how we teach them the difference between what's real and what isn't, you know? And I'm like, oh, that's true. And but that was just me. But some of the stuff that I watched as a kid, I thought to myself, you might think that that's not real, but I know that it is, you know?
Well, but I did that with my boys. Like, we haven't got much time left, but I was just going to say that with my boys, and the same thing, I never sat down, for example, and had the talk, but I would watch what my children were watching so that I had an idea that when something came up, such as some of the things you've talked about, or a teachable moment came up, it was a segue into a discussion, age appropriate, to talk. Like my son has asked me, my eldest, because he doesn't have severe autism, my youngest does, but I still have had conversations with him too.
Yeah.
My eldest asked me, what happens to you when you O.D? And he named some of the DRUGS as I'm spelling because we're on YouTube. And I was very honest with him, because I think that he had a good understanding by the end of the discussion. And that wasn't the only discussion about, and I think we can't hide information, right? I think their parents had a very good idea about, you know, like you said, teaching you what was real and what wasn't.
Yeah, what was not. Yeah, they just always explain it to us and just let it go. That's how I grew up. I was lucky, though. I don't know if that works for everybody, but that's just how it was.
Sherry, I say this sometimes as a joke, too. I have said I should have read the fine print on my soul contract because I apparently signed up for everything. I love it.
Apparently, I tore mine up and rewrote one, so I don't even know what the hell that was wrong with that.
Okay, we haven't got time to answer this quickly, but Kason says, how about you're doing great, and then bam, your life seems like it doesn't give you a break anymore. What is that? That's a lot exactly about what David said. And part of it is, okay, maybe you need to stop, breathe, look at it. And even though you may not feel like it, if life feels like it's going to crap, is start looking about how can I raise my vibration? Like attracts like energy. What are your belief systems around this? What are you saying around this? Some of the things David said, right? A lot of things we say, people are words.
Yep. What Lorilei said, and might I add, this is what I do. You do not have to follow.
We've got 2 minutes, Dave. 2 minutes.
Okay. You never have to follow what I do, but basically when something bad happens to me, I no longer look at it of myself as a victim. I look at myself of what could I learn from this? And that's how I just see it now. That's how I just see it nowadays. It made life a lot better. By the way, you guys, if you want to know anything more about me, you can go to my website, thewhispertome.com. You can follow me on Facebook and TikTok under David Hanzel, spiritual medium. Actually, it's just at medium David Hanzel on TikTok and Instagram. My Facebook group and my YouTube channel are both called The Spirit Experience. Plus, make sure that you join up for the thing at the foot of the bed on Facebook as well. Take it away, Lorilei.
Yes, and if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, please stay tuned. We've got the amazing Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano coming up next with the second night of the Outer Realm. You guys know they always have a great show, great guests, even when it's just the two of them hanging out. So please stay tuned. Now, if you ever want to get a hold of me, I do readings, I do crystal Reiki, I do teaching and mentoring. Get a hold of me on facebook.com/The Angel Rock, or better yet, just message me on social media. You can get a hold of me either under Lorilei Potvin or the Angel Rock, either one. I'm on every social media platform there is. Also, I have 2 groups on Facebook: Paranormal University for all things paranormal, Angel Rocker Tribe for more things spiritual. Don't forget, we got the thing at the foot of the bed with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel on Facebook. Come and join it. We need to get to 200, then Dave and I will start going live. Also, please don't forget, I will be back Monday night with the Angel Rock, and I do believe it's somebody that grew up here where I live locally and is starting to put out some really incredible children's books. And when he did, I said, I would love to have you on my show and talk about this. So that's 6 to 8 p.m. on Monday. Otherwise, Dave and I will be back same time, same space next week. Right, Dave?
Yeah, well, remember, Lorilei and I will never, ever, ever private message you to solicit readings. So don't fall.
I was gonna say that. I forgot. Okay, you want to say your stay spooky? Well, we can say it together, right? Stay spooky.
Stay spooky, you guys. And we'll try it again, even though they're saints. But 1, 2, 3. What's at the foot of your bed?
Again, well, we get it. Exactly. It might take us a couple years, but with our timing, it might delay. If we get it right on the money, Dave and I said we're giving away a rating. So stay tuned for that. We love y'all.
But join the group.
Stay spooky. We'll see you guys next week or in the group.